CTV News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We begin with some sad news from our CTV News family. Lloyd Robertson, the longtime CTV News national anchor for 35 years, died this evening at 92 years of age. Here's CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin with a look back at Robertson's life.
So that's the kind of day it's been on this Thursday.
Along with that nightly sign-off,
Hello.
Lloyd Robertson offered generations of viewers a connection to the world. His authoritative voice was a landmark of the Canadian broadcast landscape for over 6 decades.
I'm Lloyd Robertson, and I used to live here.
Robertson's early years in Stratford, Ontario shaped his lifelong love of news. He recounted he was bitten by the broadcasting bug when he was a boy. He was watching local radio hosts at CJCS describe the Perth Regiment marching home from the Second World War.
This is Lloyd Robertson.
In high school, he got a job at CJCS. And it's also in high school that he met Nancy Barrett. She would become his wife in 1956 and mother of his 4 daughters. Robertson graduated, continued to spin records and read news until he knocked on CBC's door. He moved to his first TV job in Winnipeg, going national a few months later on Christmas Day 1956. Robertson worked his way to the CBC's flagship news show, The National. But eventually, he grew frustrated with his editorial role.
In the wrong union, I couldn't write, I couldn't edit.
He signed on to CTV in 1976, co-anchoring with then-host Harvey Kirk. The partnership lasted until 1984, when Kirk retired from the anchor desk and Robertson became senior news anchor. When he retired from the anchor desk in 2011, it marked the end of an era, said then Prime Minister Stephen Harper.
You've been delivering the news since I was barely more than a boy.
He often said the greatest honor of his life was to chronicle the times, the events that marked Canada and the world for so long.
And that's the kind of day it's been. I'm Lloyd Robertson. For all of us here at CTV News, good night. It strikes me that if you find something you love to do,
hi guys,
and you are able to do it, that's about as good as it gets in life.
Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News.
A public complaint against Sarnia's suspended police chief is now the subject of a criminal investigation. It follows a legal battle that erupted between Chief Derek Davis and the owner of a local independent newspaper. CTV's Brian Bicknell has reaction.
According to a letter from the Law Enforcement Complaints Agency to Sarnia Journal owner Nathan Calhoun and shared by Calhoun, a complaint against Sarnia Police Chief Derek Davis filed in April is now suspended. That's because, according to the letter, the director of the agency has determined the matter is now the subject of a criminal investigation.
Shocked. Not totally surprised.
Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley served 35 years on the Sarnia Police Service Board before stepping down, partly, he says, over concerns regarding Davis.
I left the board 3 years ago because of that chief's actions and his relationship with the city and with the board, which I did not think was a productive relationship. And now we're seeing all these allegations come out, which are quite disturbing. And my concern is always the impact on the officers and civilians that serve.
In a notice to media, Calhoun says his complaint with the agency is the same one he originally filed with the Sarnia Police Service Board in March of this year. He says it concerns the conduct of Chief Davis, including Davis's alleged ties to private consulting interests, hiring decisions, and at the time, the decision by the Sarnia Police Service Board to pay Davis's legal fees in his lawsuit against Calhoun and the newspaper. That decision has since been withdrawn and the lawsuit dropped. Meantime, Davis is also the subject of a separate workplace harassment investigation.
There's all sorts of grievances, human rights complaints, all sorts of other things unfolding. This is going to cost the taxpayers of Sarnia a lot of money.
Public safety analyst Chris Lewis says it's not unprecedented for a police chief to be the subject of a criminal investigation, but he says justice needs to be allowed to run its course.
There's an allegation. He's not convicted. The investigation hasn't been done. He may never be charged with anything at all. And I think the public has to keep that in mind. But in the meantime, when any police officer comes under such scrutiny, particularly in a criminal way, ultimately it's going to hurt public confidence.
The police service conducting the criminal investigation has not been named publicly. Meantime, CTV News reached out to Davis. He did not respond. The police service board declined to comment. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
A public meeting was held during the Strathroy-Caradoc Council meeting tonight to address a proposed zoning change that was revised to remove data centers from the list of possible uses.
They need to run somewhere, just not in Strathroy.
The applicant for 700 Adair Boulevard submitted a revised request for the zoning bylaw amendment application last week. The purpose of the meeting is for council and the public to review the revised application. A decision will be made at a future council meeting.
I'm against the current proposal, as I've stated publicly. It's too wide open. There's a lot of unknowns, so it's a wide open proposal. I don't think it's the right location. There's just too many unknowns with the proposal.
At least a dozen residents in the Elgin County community of Fingal are attempting to dry out flooded basements and crawl spaces following heavy rain on Sunday. But as CTV's Sean Irvin reports, the residents aren't just pointing the finger at Mother Nature.
Angie Mailot did everything in her power on Sunday to prevent this aftermath. The basement of her home in Fingal flooded after heavy rains poured in.
I was home alone. This weekend, I was back at the back window of the house with a 3-foot squeegee pushing water physically away from the house for about 45 minutes. And then I heard the water alarm. The basement just started filling with water.
It was just before 4 o'clock. Not far away, Angie's neighbor, Beck Chapman, was also fighting a losing battle as a lake bed formed in the front of his Century home.
We just watched it just creep closer and closer and closer and closer to the house.
Within minutes, water was in the cellar.
We had water about 10 inches from the floorboards inside. Thankfully, we don't have a basement.
But while Chapman's home escaped heavy damage, back at Angie's place, an expensive cleanup is underway. As insurance adjusters arrive, she feared it might be pointless to begin repairs until a multi-million-dollar infrastructure project is completed. But that will be a year from now. Frustration is looming.
We literally can't finish this job until they're done out there because the water problem hasn't been solved.
The township of Southwold concedes it is an unfortunate mess resulting from 4 to 5 inches of rain or over 100 millimeters in 12 hours.
The system within Fingal being nearing the end of its useful life did not have the ability to take that kind of storm.
Now the township says once complete, the new system will be able to handle 4 to 5 times the amount of water as the existing one. But that doesn't help with the current situation. Which is why Angie and others here want local governments and the contractor to investigate temporary flood mitigation methods.
We're smart enough to figure this out. Just get together and figure it out.
She wonders if the construction played a part.
I would expect that we would have localized flooding regardless of whether the construction was ongoing or not.
But until it's complete, those living here will fear looming dark clouds.
Because as soon as it rains, if you're not home, you panic and you come running from wherever you are, wondering what you're walking into.
In Fingal, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
An overnight fire gutted an East London business, causing $500,000 in damage. Fire inspectors were shoveling out the rubble at Jana Boutique Monday morning after a blaze ripped through the family-owned business. Emergency crews were called to the location at 3 a.m. Monday for reports of black smoke coming from the plaza. The business, which specializes in Islamic clothing and other items, was destroyed. The neighboring grocery store suffered smoke and water damage as well. No one was hurt, and this fire remains under investigation. A local charity which spent decades helping sick children, is shutting down. CTV's Brent Lale has more on the end of the TLC Foundation.
I get emotional just even talking about it now. It's the decision to end the TLC it didn't come easy.
For more than 35 years, Leo Lariza has been granting wishes to children in their final days.
Every child has $150 to spend.
From shopping sprees to delivering Christmas gifts in hospital and operating Santa's house, Lariza has raised millions of dollars and helped thousands of sick kids.
I kept the spirit of my mom alive. You know, I named it after her. She taught me to give to other people. And I think that we changed lives.
But the past few years have taken a toll on him. He was banned from entering LHSC's Children's Hospital by then CEO Jackie Schleifer-Taylor. It meant an end to the annual tradition of delivering gifts to kids on Christmas.
There's people out there that think something else happened. They think that there's more to the story, but there isn't. It's as simple as one person who was using her power to show that she was the boss.
Then the City of London removed Santa's house from Victoria Park.
It wasn't just a place to get pictures. It was a special. Many kids came, and many of them their last Christmas. I just don't understand why the city couldn't have just said, look, we're going to work with you. We want to keep it in London.
Since he broke the news of his foundation's closing, there have been hundreds of comments from families saying he changed their child's life. His most memorable ever was from a mother whose daughter passed away.
She was worried Santa would forget her at the hospital a day before Christmas. Some special angels came in with a Christmas tree and presents, and her little face just totally changed. And she said, Mommy, I think we can stay here for Christmas. I'm okay. And our special angel was Leo and his helpers, and we didn't know. A total stranger came in and changed our whole world.
Lariza believes his purpose in life was to help children.
If you're going to go take care of kids, you've got to show them that you're happy. You can't let your emotions get in the way. And I think right now I couldn't do that. I think I'm just too, I guess, worn out that even doing this interview, you know, I'm trying to keep it together because this is tough for me. This is not easy.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
The last of the official openings of the Gordie Howe International Bridge happens tomorrow morning. The multi-use path on the bridge opens to pedestrians, cyclists and runners tomorrow at 8 a.m. And already today, one person is ready and waiting to bike to Detroit.
What's the motivation to be here so early?
The motivation was I kind of got myself in trouble and would tell people after all these years, once they announced there'd be like multi-use path, that I'd be the first one here. So here we are. I just like joking around like I want to be the first, but now I'm right here. Man of my word. I know on Ambassador Bridge they used to be able to go over on like foot and stuff, so I thought it'd be cool to do that on the new one, and hopefully a lot more people will be using it in the future and stuff.
Has anybody given you trouble about being out here?
Not really. No, the security people have been all good, and even this lady that worked at the bridge brought me some cold water for me, and yeah, everyone's been pretty supportive and cool, telling me about their life, telling me about how they want to cross, like just catching out with people. It's pretty cool and makes it go by quick. I got like beef jerky, trail mix, granola bars, light stuff, but I just been snacking here and there, so I'm not filling up too much, and then just been drinking a decent amount of liquid, and when it opens 8 a.m. I'll get out my bike and try and be the first to cross the Detroit side.
Later on CTV News, the annual celebration of everything that Port Stanley has to offer. Canada's main stock index was up today, while U.S. markets also surged. In Toronto, the TSX gained 575 points, and in New York, the Dow added 907, while the Nasdaq is up 671. The Canadian dollar dropped 1/5 of a cent today, and on commodity markets, gold gained $62 an ounce, oil lost $4.57 a barrel. A major drop at the gas pumps is expected later this week. Hold off if you can before filling up. The price of gas is forecast to drop 12 cents a litre to nearly $1.59. That's according to Dan McTague with Canadians for Affordable Energy. The relief at the pumps is anticipated because oil prices are falling on word of progress toward reopening the Strait of Hormuz to tanker traffic. Back here at home, work is now underway to transform the grounds at the former St. Thomas Psychiatric Hospital. As Brent Lale reports, the first steps in the demolition process have now begun.
Demolition fencing and signs now surround a 40-acre parcel of the former St. Thomas Psychiatric Hospital.
We're working forward through the plan. The fencing went up a couple of weeks ago, and that's through Infrastructure Ontario. So all I will say is things are moving rapidly.
The general contractor for the work is Green Infrastructure Partners from Markham,
where the majority of the buildings are will continue to be owned by Infrastructure Ontario, and that's where the demolition will take place. The other 170 hectares targeted to be sold through the RFP process. We're still waiting on that.
The fencing and groundbreaking comes just as Elgin County has approved Central Elgin's official plan amendment. The approval represents the culmination of more than a year of planning and allows parties to move forward. The next question is, what from the former hospital will be preserved?
There's a commemorative strategy. We'll have more to release on that in the coming months, but I think everyone, the municipality of Central Elgin, Minister Flack, the developers, they all looked at the site plans as having a very special heritage, and I think that you'll see that that's going to be accommodated.
The Central Elgin Heritage Committee have provided their input and tells CTV News they would like to be kept in the loop about what's next. MPP Rob Flack says they'll be involved.
They've certainly advocated hard, and Infrastructure Ontario knows. So let's get them in there, identify what it is they deem important within reason, and to preserve it as best we can.
Flack adds the demolition is going to take a long time to complete. However, it's not going to interfere with the building of thousands of homes to support future jobs with Volkswagen, Vianode, and others coming.
We need housing in the worst way, and this is a great repurposing of that land. As they say, pitter patter, let's get at her. That is the mantra of the day. It can't happen soon enough.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
It's as simple as taking a picture, but it could make a major difference for wheat farmers across Canada and the world. An app developed by researchers at the University of Guelph uses AI to detect one of the most common and harmful diseases impacting wheat crops. And as we hear from CTV's Jeff Pickle, it's also free to use.
Just above knee height here. So what you'd want to do is open the app up on your phone, take the picture.
From the field to the lab, researchers at the University of Guelph are working to improve yields.
So you can see here, for every plot, we have to draw a box around each wheat head in the image.
What started as a research project has turned into an app that can help farmers detect Fusarium head blight, one of the most destructive diseases affecting wheat production.
We focus a lot on breeding for resistance to the disease, and one of the ways we have to do that is evaluating plots out in the field and testing if the lines are resistant to the pathogen or not.
The concept is simple, but the technology is not. Take a picture of a wheat field and let AI do the rest.
So we're trying to develop a way that's a lot more accurate at actually determining the degree of infection within each plot.
A helpful and free tool for farmers.
Farmers can also use this to help gauge what they're having in how much infection is out in their field, and it allows them a little bit of leeway so that they can employ some different practices to minimize the impact of the disease.
Also helpful for researchers looking to create more resilient strains of wheat.
We're losing farmland at a relatively rapid rate, so we need to be able to actually increase the production that we have on the farmland that we do already grow on.
McConaughey says so far 250 producers have downloaded the app, and all information used in the app is retained by the farmers and not used in their research.
So this wheat is a little bit too mature. For the app to work, you need to be green.
McConaughey says they are updating the app to make it better for next year, and it will remain free to use.
We benefited a lot in our research from open source models, and we've taken advantage of this a lot in order to actually employ all of this. So we just wanted to continue that trend and give back so people can build on this and use it to actually benefit themselves.
Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Guelph.
After a bright, sunny summer day, CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now with details of the full forecast, and I'm sure most people are hoping it's more of the same later in the week.
I can deliver at least one more day, certainly an afternoon tomorrow, Michelle. Some good news indeed. Today was a beautiful day. A lot of people outdoors taking advantage. The one caveat to this story, high UV, and we expect that for tomorrow. So protect yourself, of course. Reached a high of 28. And look at this, our average at this time of the year is 26, a couple of degrees above seasonal. Why are we not seeing clouds across, say, Michigan through southern Ontario, east towards Quebec, the Maritimes, northeastern seaboard of the USA? Massive ridge of high pressure. So, blue skies again in the story. Earlier today, air quality was great, and then things start to break down as we'll see two disturbances, one coming up from the south, one from the west, combining to bring some rains. The cold front from the west could arrive towards the afternoon tomorrow with increasing cloudiness. I don't think the showers come until the evening. So it's sunny tomorrow, and again, high UV, it's the evening and overnight where we see some rain activity a possibility. And I think there's a good chance Thursday morning will be one of those rainy days. So tomorrow, 29, 3 degrees above seasonal, sunny, high UV as mentioned. Thursday into Friday, Saturday. To end the week, we are looking at increasing cloudiness, but still warm and slightly above seasonal, 2 to 3 degrees. Good chance of rain Thursday, slight chance Friday, Saturday, and a slight chance of rain Sunday into Monday. Temperatures 29s apiece, and then falling a week from now, Tuesday, cloudy and 27. Take a look at the Midwest, mostly sunny for the most part, and then we'll see the increasing cloudiness. That temperature should reach 29 tomorrow, feeling like about 32 or 33. Thursday into Friday, we'll see scattered showers possible. I think Thursday morning and again Friday through the midday. Saturday, Sunday, warm, close to 30 degrees both days. Showers possible Sunday night into Monday morning. Cloudy through the rest of the day. Monday, a high of 28, and then cooling off to more seasonal values, mid-20s anticipated as we head towards Tuesday afternoon, a week from now. That's a look at how the weather's shaping up.
An update now on the wildfires burning in northern Ontario. The latest numbers from the Ministry of Natural Resources show 5 new fires were confirmed in the northeast region as of 6 p.m. yesterday. That means there were a total of 46 active fires. In the northwest region of the province, 2 new fires were confirmed by last evening for a total of 119. The ministry says 24 of them are out of control, but 8 fires have been extinguished since the previous update. It's only been a few weeks since our region had the worst air quality in the world. Now we're learning more about how experts monitor the air quality and how easily smoke can travel. As we see the impact of wildfire season, it's only expected to get worse. CTV's Colton Weens explains.
Unfortunately, we are seeing longer wildfire seasons. We're also seeing areas that usually are not impacted by wildfires, highly impacted by wildfires.
Wildfires are burning across Ontario and Canada, situations that can quickly grow. And it just takes some changing winds to put areas like southern Ontario under poor air quality again.
Last year, we were able to detect how the Canadian wildfires were actually spreading throughout parts of southern Europe.
If those winds do line up in a given direction from the surface to higher levels of the atmosphere, that can tend to create streamers of wildfire smoke that can travel for thousands of kilometers. And as we saw a few weeks ago, not only affecting air quality in southern Ontario from fires in northwestern Ontario, but also affecting communities in the northeastern U.S.
When winds push smoke, there's really no way of slowing it down.
There are 8 million people per year that die from air pollution. So if you really think about it in that terms, there's so much that we can do to help to save human health if we focus on the air quality.
Switzerland-based IQ Air makes and sells air purifiers and monitors. They also operate a network of data that anyone with their monitors can provide information to.
Really, truly try to give people hyper-local data. So that's the station that's closest to them, and we want people to have the most accurate information to make informed choices.
In Ontario, the province maintains 38 monitoring stations checking fine particulate matter, surface-level ozone, and sulfur dioxide, all used by Environment Canada for their forecasting.
But also IQ Air, Purple Air, and some other sites as well, just to compare and contrast the readings to see how they've got the smoke plumes moving with time and things of that nature.
And as technology monitoring wildfires increases, Dolphin Hammes says the season is only getting worse and suggests that everyone check air quality throughout the day, especially during these summer months. Colton Ween, CTV News, Kitchener.
Thousands of people flocked to Port Stanley this weekend for the annual Calypso Festival. Brent Lale was there.
In Mermaid's Cove, the little ones get up close with the mythological creatures.
It is so much fun to see the joy and excitement on these kids' faces. It keeps the magic of childhood alive for them and for us as well. And it's super special.
Calypso, or Come and Live in Port Stanley, Ontario, is a festival designed to bring people to the village. There's a number of free activities, including a boat parade with hundreds of people lining the harbor and fireworks Sunday evening.
It's really starting to build momentum, which makes me super happy because more and more organizations are finding things and ways to showcase what their organizations, because it really is a community festival.
I think it's good. If it's not better than it ever was, it's a surprise to me because I think a lot of people are happy to celebrate Port Stanley and Central Elgin. It's for all members of the family, from young to old, and we look forward to welcoming as many people as we can.
Calypso took a 2-decade hiatus with its peak in the mid-'80s. There was live music, a land parade near the bridge with the streets packed, a petting zoo, a dunk tank, and even the classic bed races.
First time we've ever had a license. So going back in the day, it was always, the snow fence, the barbecue, the license, the entertainment. So many people have so many great ideas, and we're really welcoming onto the committee for next year. We're even keeping our fingers crossed the tall ships may make an appearance next year as well for Calypso Festival.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Part of a SpaceX rocket is scheduled to crash into the moon in the early hours of the morning. The Falcon 9 rocket lifted off in January 2025, carrying 2 lunar landers. One soft-sided on the moon, the other one failed to touch down. Now the rocket's second stage is set to slam into the lunar surface at 2:35 a.m. Scientists estimate the collision will create a crater with a diameter of 20 by 30 meters. A mixture of solar activity and gravity forces have put the upper state on the path towards the moon. Well, that's it for us. Thanks for watching. From all of us at CTV News London, I'm Michelle Maluske. Have a great night.